So this is going to be your second video on the infotainment and the driver's display on the all-new Creta. And as you can see, I already have my Apple CarPlay connected wirelessly. I thought it needed wires, but it did not. This is an 8-inch touchscreen, whereas this is a 10-inch driver's display. And bear with me, it's a bright sunny day outside, and so this might look a bit dim, but I will do my best to make things clear and negotiable. All right, on the left hand side is your speedometer, and then on your right hand side is your RPM gauge. So you have your current trip stats, your P for driving, which gear you're in, foot on the brake. There's a bit of a button on the top that you press, and then you pull it down. So one brings down to reverse, immediately opens your dynamic lines. Another brings it down to neutral, and you get the N on top. And then another down brings it into drive, which shows that. And then our right twist will get it into sports mode. Yep. All right, back into drive and up into park again. And that's pretty much your gear. So after that, you have your current trip, basically showing 0 kilometers, your time of driving, your fuel mileage efficiency, and basically auto hold, your temperature, and then your odometer here. Again, RPM on the right hand side, and like a traditional Hyundai layout. If you press this, it changes the driver's display. So you have different settings like driver's assistance or warning methods, warning volumes can be integrated and changed. Then going back, you have your cluster settings, your theme, auto stop, timer, your wipers, display, lights, icy road warning, welcoming sound. That's pretty much it. As for your lights, you have illumination, like I will take it all the way. Maybe this will make it easier. One touch indicator. So when you just tap on it, do you want it 3, 5, or 7 flashes? Headlight, interior lights, the usual. And then you have your door settings. You have a lock, you have an auto. Why is it not focusing? There we go. Auto lock and auto unlock. You can set it when enable on speed or enable in park. And then your convenience is basically your service interval reminders, welcome mirror light. That's pretty much it. And then your units, do you want it in the imperial system or the metric system? Your tire pressures, so the usual stuff. I don't see anything out of the blue on this, but that's it. And then you have a reset. So again, pressing on this button, you have your TPMS. This activates once your car begins rolling. And then you have a current trip again. You can use this to toggle different ways. So since refueling, that's been my average so far. Since the last reset, this is more of a bigger average. And then your auto stop. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, this is a very straightforward sort of typical Hyundai driver's display. On the left hand side, you have your wiper controls and your rear wiper. The left side of your steering wheel is your media controls, voice assistant on the top, horn. On the right are your cruise control, ADAS controls. On the right, again, is your indicator and your headlight. You can set it to automatic and just leave it. And you have paddle shifters on this car for gear changes. This to go down and this to go up. Okay, so I think what we're more interested in is the 8-inch infotainment screen. Again, right now I have Apple CarPlay wirelessly connected. And it's quite responsive. Maps works, Spotify works. And I am going to go back to the Hyundai homepage though, because this is probably what most of you will see. You do have the power option of connecting USB-C down there, a 12 volt 180 watt or a USB-A outlet. And then your home layout, basically your different things connected. You do have an inbuilt navigation, but right now because of Apple CarPlay, that's just what comes up. And Apple CarPlay obvious, your menu, your phone, your media, your settings. I'll start with all menus here. You have some buttons on the side to see, track, setup for like a quick settings, access, radio, media, of star button that you can program, volume rock or power button. Oh, speaking of which, the power on this car is hidden down behind the steering wheel. Anyway, sorry, back to this. And you have your phone, Apple CarPlay, voice memos, radio, media. This is basically your camera modes. This one has a rear camera only, so that's available. A quiet mode. And your manual. You probably have to connect it to the internet for that. Alright, that's fine. So settings and setup will take you to the same place. Yep. And you can configure the sound, so you can have that beep on or off. Keep it off. Speed dependent volume limitation on starting up, so that music isn't blaring in case you are listening to loud music when you turn off the car and the next morning you don't want like super loud bass to wake you up. Position, so where do you want the best sound? You can configure it front, left, right, or leave it in the center. You have your equalizer here. You have guidance volume, so basically ringtones, alerts, beeps. I've turned beep off at the moment. Radio noise control. It has a bit of noise reduction, which is great. Driver's assistance warning, so parking safety. Connected devices, so both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I think is awesome, right? And then you have your device connections, so Bluetooth connections and everything. My phone is connected at the moment. Phone projections, same thing. And then your buttons, so basically your custom button can be used to toggle the display on and off, or have the camera turned on or display on and off. I'll use this custom button on the steering wheel, which is this button. So radio media, I'd like to do that. So by pressing this, you'll just shuffle between the different input modes. A quiet mode, a mode button on this will shuffle it between different things. So I'll keep it in phone projection, USB music, and then the up and down buttons on the steering wheel. So this one here on the right hand side and on the left hand side, probably on the left hand side. Change favorite sections or frequencies, change stations, press buttons briefly to change stations or frequency. Yeah, basically to go through the stations and everything. Okay, coming back, and then you have your general settings. I think this is what I'm most interested in. Software updates, system. How much memory do these cars have? 128. Interesting, most of the Chinese EVs come with like 128 GB, not MB of storage. Date time, auto settings, language. Oh, you get a whole bunch of languages here. Uh-oh. And then your keyboard, your media settings, and then your default settings, whether you want to go back to a factory reset, and then your climate control settings. So internal air circulation, activation on washer fluid use. Okay. Automatic ventilation, auto dehumidify, switch air to decrease humidity after an extended use of air condition. Okay, this is great. Normally I would have to press this to modulate humidity inside the car so that I don't get nosebleeds, but this does it automatically. And yeah, that pretty much completes it. Again, Apple CarPlay works like a charm. Yeah. And you have quick buttons, dedicated buttons here. Your HVAC control also has buttons, which is fantastic. A sink, a rear, front defogger, your hazard lights, internal circulation, AC, auto of this. It's a dual zone climate as far as I remember, so you can configure that. And then your fan speeds. This does get pretty cold, so that's nice. Then you can just turn it off. I like that. All right, so that concludes my second video on the Creta facelift, where I did a quick run through of the infotainment screen as well as the driver's display. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll see you on the next one.